how things look printed first. So like I'm supposed to send them a high res image and they'll print it for me so I could see the quality level.
Which, just by the way, we're about to go live on YouTube.
Yeah.
We're live now. Everybody, we're live on YouTube.
Oh my God, live on YouTube.
We're live on
Hey, Dale.
YouTube.
Wow.
All right.
Hey, Dale.
Made it.
And it's go time. So I'm going to start the webinar. Hey, Dale.
Hey, everyone.
Okay. The webinar has begun.
Oh boy, the pressure.
Here we go.
Pressure.
Printed first. So like
We're getting some echo from my computer.
Welcome, Dale.
Let the room fill up.
How was this morning? Good session.
Fun.
do you have a good group?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Besides Bill was there.
Oh, burn.
Well, it got so bad that,
I
John
got booted.
disappeared.
So did I.
Did everybody in the crowd, everybody on the panel have a good Thanksgiving?
Great Thanksgiving.
Yeah, great.
Oh yeah.
How about you, Timmy?
It was nice. Did anybody make a turkey? Like, I mean, I know we all had turkey, many of us had turkey, but is anybody here personally responsible for a turkey?
I called my brother-in-law. He made it.
Yeah, no.
You've got a good brother-in-law for making turkey.
Yeah. Good to have a chef in your family.
Yeah.
I think it's
Yeah.
just as important as a doctor.
really
Maybe more.
Here's a turkey question. Does he just cook it just traditional, like whole turkey, or does he spatchcock it, or what's his method?
This particular year, he smoked it.
Ooh.
But he doesn't like break it down or anything. He just does all in one piece.
I couldn't tell you, Timmy.
Yeah.
I wasn't there. I said he cooked it.
Okay. I mean,
I was pretty far removed from it.
I guess when it came to the table, was it a whole turkey?
No, it was in lots of parts.
All right. Good. This is important for me to know. So
Was yours spatchcocked? I mean, what would you?
yeah, it was.
Oh, it was. Okay. I mean, I know it cooks faster that way.
It does.
I don't know what that means.
So
Never heard
it's
that.
You cut it up the spine and flatten it, and so it increases, like it speeds up the baking process.
it allows you to cook it more evenly.
Mhm.
It's like the farm version of curb stomping, basically.
Sure. All right. On that note, I'm going to start the theme song.
Illustration, isolation, illustration, isolation.
Episode 90.
Wow.
We're coming up on our centennial.
Is there going to be a huge celebration of some kind for 100?
Is Bill gonna dress up his hands for
after
it?
you really hyped up the Halloween episode, Dale.
Hey, man.
Yeah, we're gonna have a special
And then
guest.
just really
Yeah,
just-
I was the only one who brought a special guest, so
Yeah,
you
we're gonna
guys.
have a special guest for sure.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I'm going to spatchcock
Norman
the special
Rockwell.
guest. Funny, man.
I figured I always associate Norman Rockwell with Thanksgiving, so I thought he'd be the perfect guest. Illustration, Thanksgiving, all good.
If you play that song, he's not coming.
Dale, real people wrote and performed that song.
All right. Hey, everybody. This is John. I'm here with Timmy Trebon, Cassandra Loomis Kim, Dale Stefanos, and Bill Cove. I'm sure there'll be more that join us. Welcome. I hope you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving, had a great break, and we're back to it drawing. So tonight we're doing the new Wes Anderson film, The French Dispatch, of the Liberty, Kansas Evening Sun. As I said earlier today, Timmy, that hits pretty close to us. I have not seen the movie. It's got some beautiful photography, some beautiful imagery. Timmy has seen the movie. I don't know if Dale or Cassandra or Bill. I know Bill hasn't seen it, unless that's what he did this afternoon.
No.
I
But
saw it, so we're
our
good.
first pose is going to be Tilda Swinton. This is an unbelievable shot, and I apologize. It's not the same. This resolution in this photo was too small, so we put a larger one in, which is more of just a bust. So we'll be more of a portrait on this one. The second pose is Timothy Chalamet, which we drew recently for Dune.
Yeah.
And then our last pose, you have the option. The first two are going to be 20-minute poses. And for the longer pose tonight, it's going to be Frances McDormand. Oh, I love her. I love this shot.
Amazing.
And then Steve Park. And you can do either or both. As I said, the first two are 20 minutes. The last pose is a little bit longer. It's going to be 35 to 40 minutes. Post your work in between poses to hashtag Visual Arts Passage, and we'll look at the work at the end of the night. But as Timmy always says, don't wait to the end. Post it after each pose. Stay caught up. All right.
I just dropped the link to the photos in the chat. So grab it, get your photos there. If this is your first time joining us, let us know in the chat. Be sure to select everyone. Don't just chat, hosts, and panelists. And don't be quiet. Treat it like a Q&A. Ask questions at any time. If you don't ask questions, we're just going to talk about what we did for Thanksgiving, probably.
Well,
And our favorite recipes.
And tonight, since we're getting, it's second day of December, Dale and I will be able to be talking about snowblowers.
That's right. That's right.
I know Timmy's excited about that.
Yeah, well, it's 75 here, basically. So
Are you serious?
It
I don't know that we're going to need snowblowers.
Oh, that's obnoxious.
But it's not in Boston, is it?
No, it's a proper wintry, 35 miserable. This is our reality here. I always think that that nice weather in the fall and not the spring, but the summer, it's like this illusion. And our reality here is just this like 35-degree gray wet day, which is fine with me.
We envy you for like 2 weeks in fall, and then we're like, eh.
Yeah.
I love an overcast day, Dale.
Oh, see, Timmy, I knew we had a lot in common, even though you try to fight me. You're just looking for someone to throw your jujitsu on. Too much pent up aggression there. How's that going, by the way?
It's going well. Yeah, I actually on Saturday my gym was closed, and I decided I'm gonna go to an open mat at another gym.
Oh boy.
And see how I'm doing.
Oh boy, how did that go?
And
Oof. Oh,
Yeah.
It was a rude awakening. It was no, it's going okay.
Did
you walk in cocky?
No, not at all. No, I go to a gym. It's really very hard to get stripes. Like it probably takes twice as long at our gym as other gyms.
Did you say that when you came in?
Yeah, I'm being held back.
Yeah. You walked up to a guy and said,
guy in there.
Yeah. No, I do know that because we've had pretty high level, not high. We've had blue belts come to our gym, and I'm a white belt, 0 stripe. I'm a 0 stripe white belt. Me, Dale,
Nice.
you have the same belt jiu-jitsu that I have.
That's really funny.
But we've had a blue belt come into our gym, and I did really very well against him, and that was
Wow.
surprising. That could have just been luck too, though. So,
Is it, this is
the
good.
rating system is absurd, though.
Cassandra, I want to react to something you said. Did you walk in all cocky?
Uh-huh.
The fact that he walked in, that's
Yeah.
your answer.
He started calling everybody stripes.
That good cool guy strut, like I was just curious if there was like a slight, strut to your going in.
Well, you know what's funny? So it's no gi, so there's no belt, and you don't know how good anyone is.
So what do you wear?
You just wear it's like rash guard clothes. So it's just like you know what, Dale? You would love it. It's just mostly spandex.
Oh, we need pictures now.
Yeah. No, I wear little shorts over my spandex, and I know cyclists don't tend to do that.
Oh, wow. Wow. Listen to you.
Well,
Listen to you. Mountain bikers do. Roadies don't.
Yeah. Okay. So it's mostly rash guards, but I didn't realize this, but the rash guards actually have so if let's say you're a purple belt, if you go get a rash guard, you can get a rash guard that is ranked and will be like a purple rash guard. And they don't tell anybody that. And nobody makes that really clear. And so a lot of white belts go out and buy rash guards, and they'll go buy like a black belt rash guard.
Oh, I see.
And then they show up to a no-gi gym, and nobody knows any better. And so everybody thinks, they're like, wow, that's a weird looking black belt.
Huh.
I'm really good. I just beat this black belt.
Like, man, you look young for a black belt. Have you been doing this since you were like 7? No.
So how long does it generally take
to become a black belt?
Yeah, in a legit.
It like in a legit way, I think it could take a lifetime and you could never become one, just because it doesn't click for you.
No.
But I've read it takes like, I think you got a minimum of like 15 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Of like probably like 3 days, 3 days a week minimum, probably. I haven't met a black belt whose like entire life didn't revolve around it yet.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like they pretty much always own a gym. So, yeah.
I'm fascinated by those pursuits that are made up of lifers like that.
Uh-huh.
Because it can really take over your everything.
Some could say that about art too.
Well, I think art is, yeah, you're right. But I think art is different.
It doesn't hurt as bad.
Yeah, and there's not a directly competitive component to this.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Dale, that's why I'm addicted. The competition of it is thrilling for me.
Yeah. Oh no, I get that for sure.
Yeah.
That's what I liked about all the stuff I've done.
A lot of addicts do it. It's very popular in the addiction community.
Yep. When I was doing Ironmans, that was like basically a big recovery meeting. It was
John,
amazing.
your camera isn't showing your drawing.
That's okay.
I thought I assumed that was the case. Yeah, Dale. I've been to a couple classes where it's basically an addiction meeting.
Yeah. That's cool though. I mean, that's where you want to put that energy, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. How many Ironmans have you done, Dale? That's wild.
I've done 3 full, and then
oh my god,
a ton of
I know,
halves.
right? It's really
for
casual
those of you,
about that.
For people in the crowd who don't know what an Ironman is, can you give them a rundown, Dale? It's like a million miles, right?
Yeah.
No, it's 140.6. So it's 2.4 mile swim, and then a 112-mile bike, and then a marathon, a 26.2 run. And
So what's the hardest part for you?
um,
The toughest.
the last part of the run is always the hardest part. Yeah, actually, the hardest part is about a month before. You're so burned out, but you've committed, so it's like you're just miserable, and it's like I can't tell you how many times I was like, I'm done. I'm just done. Like I'd say to my wife, I'm done, and she'd be like, good. Like, well, no, I'm not done. But it's not hard. I mean, it's hard, but anybody could do it. Anybody could do it. There's just a difference. It's like marathons. There's a difference between, just finishing and accomplishing the task and racing it. And I was in the sort of unfortunate position of realizing I was capable of actually racing it. So it turned into a whole thing.
Running and biking is hard for me, Dale, because I have an idle mind when I do it.
What do you mean? I think that's what you need. What do you mean you have an idle mind?
Like I just I'm thinking the whole time about like my day.
Oh yeah, but this has I get that. I do too.
How to respond to Bill Cobb's email.
Well, yeah, I mean that's why we do those things, right? To kind of just get out of the moment and let our minds go, right? And then we do dumb stuff like enter events and ruin the experience with competing and instead of just doing it.
I thought you were going to say you do it to cope with my emails.
Yeah.
No, it's fun. I'm like one of those, I don't know what breed of dog I'd be, but I would be the breed that if you don't get him out and exercise, he starts.
Australian Shepherd.
That's the one. Chewing the furniture and biting the kids. And
Dale, I think of you as like a greyhound.
I totally thought greyhound.
I was thinking more whippet.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah. Greyhounds seem to be so mild mannered and
really
good tempered.
Well, I was thinking on the track.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. All right.
Anyway, it's nice to be able to move around and do
that's a really fun question to everybody. What breed of dog would you be?
Yeah. Well, no. What breed of dog are you? Not would you be?
Yeah. Well, if you were a dog.
Yeah. I mean, I would love to be a German Shepherd, but I'm not.
Yeah.
Oh man.
What's the smartest breed?
I feel like that's giving yourself a nickname. Like I feel like you don't get to choose it. Other people pick it for you.
Yeah.
What's the smartest breed? What's recognized as the smartest breed?
Australian Shepherds are known for being pretty darn smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
The dog sitting right next to me. I don't want to say.
Yeah, funny.
They have one of the best sense of smells. That's all I can give them.
That the breed you have or just dogs?
Yeah, I have a lab.
Oh. Whoa, Bill,
Yeah.
That is awesome, man.
Oh, thank you. I was just thinking the same thing about yours.
Holy crap.
It was amazing.
Bill, you're kind of a Yorkshire Terrier.
No. No. I think I'm a cross between a golden retriever and an Australian Shepherd.
Okay.
Timmy bought that one.
Wait, is the golden retriever? Is it because of the hair?
No, the golden retriever is because I want people to like me, and I'm nice.
That's funny. Do you jump up on everyone? And
yeah, of course. And I'm really affectionate. And then the Australian Shepherd because I can't sit still.
Yeah.
But I also want to be in charge too. So I want to, direct everybody.
Does anybody else watch the dog shows Thanksgiving?
Sometimes they're always fun to tune in. I just lately with kids, it's hard to get to do any of that.
Oh, that's how I got into it. Was I don't mean personally, but that's how I first was exposed to it. The kids loved it.
Mm.
Mine are still too young yet to like find it interesting. I think in a couple years they'll get into it because they like animals.
Yeah,
Can I just be a shelter mutt? Like I feel like I would just be
I know.
some weird, like odd mix of everything and just happy that somebody gave me a home.
that's
Yeah.
funny. Yeah, those
Yeah.
are the best. They really are the best.
Bill, that's fantastic. I love the way you did her arms and made her really.
Yeah, I changed my vote on you, Bill. Bill, you would be a cat.
Oh, what's
I
wrong with cats?
there's nothing wrong with cats. Bill's a cat.
Well, my last dog was a
cat.
black-coated retriever, and we were very much the same personality-wise.
Yeah.
But
I have a pit bull that has the temperament of a cat, and it is the strangest thing.
Is that true, John?
That one is not the one that attacks me.
We just got a third dog, still training it for we have like a voodoo, like a John voodoo doll that we're training him with. But I posted a photo of me with our new dog Hula, and Julian was like, "Is this the one that attacks John?" I said, "No, still training."
That's funny.
Not yet.
No, not yet.
Yeah, that dog looks adorable to me.
yeah,
Yeah.
I love that. I love that she's on your shoulders.
She is. Well, you know what? I saw the the dog Togo.
No.
It's the dog that Balto stole all the glory from. That did
Oh.
the vaccine run in the winter.
The Iditarod.
Yeah.
Oh.
Mhm. Yeah. So Togo was like the real hero. And I saw a photo of Togo's owner, and he was holding Togo like that. And so I've always tried to hold my dogs. I've always tried to hold my dogs over my shoulders, and they hate it, obviously. And I finally got a dog that'll let me do it. So
See, the other dogs will clue him in pretty soon.
yeah. She's already bonded more with our Aussie. They're palling up. So but
You're
yeah.
making me think we should have done Isle of the Dogs tonight.
Oh, so how was this movie, Timmy?
It was visually stunning. It was the most Wes Anderson movie I think
Oh,
I've
wow.
ever seen.
Really? Wow.
And probably by a mile. Visually just crazy. I did not connect with the characters much. It just felt like slice of life scenes kind of.
Yeah.
And they all worked really well as I think as short films, because it's a collection of kind of stories of the reporters of this dispatch. So it was done really creatively. It wasn't my favorite Wes Anderson movie.
What's your favorite?
I would say probably, I think the Grand Budapest Hotel might be my favorite.
That's really good.
Yeah. I love I'm trying to remember the one set in India, what that one is called.
Oh,
Darjeeling
Limited. I'm a big
Steve Z2. Yeah.
What's the name of the one with in New York with
Royal Tenenbaums.
yeah, Royal Tenenbaums. Man,
Yeah,
I love that.
that's my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gianna went with me to the movie, and she fell asleep like the first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And was just out.
She couldn't pick up the thread after that. The very
Yeah.
complicated.
I saw her wake up at one point and just was like, we were like 3 stories in, totally new characters. And it was
That's
like,
funny.
oh, this is hopeless. Yeah.
They're super precious. I mean, he's getting more and more precious as he goes, I think, but I like it.
Yeah. I I guess I like more of a this one didn't feel like it has as much heart as his last ones.
Oh,
Like in the characters and the connection with the characters weren't strong for me. You know, and usually I feel like I'm really wrapped up in the relationships the characters have. And also in his movies, not all of his characters are safe. Like really tragic stuff happens in his movies.
oh my God, I know. It's actually super dark stuff, a lot of it.
Yeah. And so like nobody ever feels safe a lot of times. And and in this movie, I didn't find myself like worrying for their well-being as much.
Oh, no, that's interesting.
Albert agrees with your review, Timmy.
Oh, nice. But visually, it's wild. It's a really stunning movie. I mean,
That's
yeah. So no one else on the panel seen it yet?
No, I keep. I'm waiting for my daughter to
Oh,
get free.
I
so
went
I
to-
can see what they're-
I saw the movie, the trailer, Tinder
Tinder
Bar.
Bar. Yeah,
I saw the trailer.
yeah, I'm super cool. That Don't Look Up.
Oh my God, she's on the Don't Look Up movie too.
Yeah,
Was she a PA?
yeah, yeah.
Oh my, those are probably those two movies I'm the most excited to see.
Me too.
I
Me
mean,
too.
that's amazing.
She was on Dexter for a minute, for a few
The
weeks.
reboot?
Yeah, she said it was a nightmare.
really?
Yeah.
Michael C. Hall is just a pain.
No, she said he was fine. She said he like kind of kept to himself. He was quiet. He kept to himself.
Like a serial killer
Yeah. Um,
or an artist.
yeah. But no, I guess just the
Fine line when
production.
describing either, right?
right. But I guess the production itself was just really
yeah.
super unorganized. And
Yeah, that's not surprising. I don't know why I say that, but I just feel like that felt like a sloppily done reboot. But I heard that I'm sure the PA work on it is incredible. But
That's all I'm
I was-
watching,
I was
Jimmy.
assuming next level.
Yeah, that's all I watch for.
but did she Don't Look Up is Adam McKay, right?
Yeah,
Did she get to meet Adam McKay?
Oh yeah. She
Oh my God,
she
that's
said
so
he's
cool.
awesome. So the deal with him was he's a Boston guy. He's grew up in Worcester, and so he loves the Patriots and he loves the Celtics. So they would not shoot on Sundays because that was Patriots Day. And when the Celtics were playing that night, they did not shoot that night because he would go to the game. So it was an awesome, as far as time is concerned, it was a great
Man,
set. But she said he's like super nice guy, and the
your
same
daughter's been on like the biggest sets probably that have happened during the pandemic.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like we say to kids, you have no idea how good you have it. But the stuff that's filming in Boston, I mean, this is like this crazy, not even Renaissance, just this like golden age of filmmaking that landed here just because of the pandemic. So she just got lucky. She's on Boston Strangler now. It's funny, she went from that Christmas movie, the Will Ferrell,
Oh yeah.
Ryan Reynolds thing to the Boston Strangler. It's a good tonal shift.
Jeez.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, but the Don't Look Up one, that's incredible. That's DiCaprio, Scott.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
It
that's
had something
insane.
like a $300 million budget.
I also feel like I watched the trailer for it and it felt like it was like the best political satire
Yeah.
for the current day. I just like immediately I was like, this is brilliant.
Yeah, I agree.
The
So
story is a meteor is heading to destroy Earth, and like two scientists are trying to alert
Oh yeah, this does look good.
everyone, and everyone is like either like in denial or trying to figure out how they're going to make money off of it.
Right. Patting them on the head, like, oh, that's nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
They shot several endings for that, so I could spoil it.
Oh, don't.
No,
I'm excited.
I won't.
I'm excited.
But one of them sounds.
Also, you get us in. We would get like in so much trouble.
I know. No, I would never do that.
It would have to go in
But
the lockbox.
it sounds really funny.
Hey, we
yeah.
do have an art question here.
Oh, good.
It says, since no one else is asking questions, I'll save John an email and ask here. Have any of you ever had to justify an art budget to a publisher who doesn't automatically recognize the benefits of illustration? This is in regard to an editorial work for articles.
Long time ago.
I think I just got that question in an email.
So justify an art budget. I'm going to assume that means kind of fight for the budget or the fee that you want. Because by the time somebody gets to me, the budget has already been determined to usually, right down to the penny. You can always ask for more, but so by the time they get to me, they've decided they want to use an illustrator. So I've never needed to kind of justify why they would use me. But as far as if the question is more about kind of fighting for more money or arguing or asking for more money, I do that all the time, with new clients, and then you sort of establish what you'll work, how much you'll work for certain jobs, and you don't have to worry about it anymore.
So the question is more, how do you convince people they should have art with their articles when they don't already use it?
Oh, do really killer, amazing work and be undeniable. And they'll be like, I need you. That's how you do it. Right, John?
Yeah, I listened to Sue Jin address that in her Studio Bridge talk about how she had to prove to the company the value of buying the illustration. And she had a really interesting take on it. And, the companies that she was, the magazines that she was art directing were financial companies, were financial magazines. And she was suggesting that, okay, you could take this really dry information and make it so much more interesting by using very inventive, creative visuals. And I think if you can tie in the subject matter and the usage and why you can make it more appealing to the audience, I think that's the best way to justify it. That's my perspective.
I'll just kind of bolt my point onto yours. She also pointed out to her bosses, the illustration in this magazine is the reason it's winning awards.
Yeah, but
right?
she did that over a period of time after she won awards.
Well, yeah.
And she was, but she did point out this, the success and why people were, she could show them when, what happened before she was there and after that she, was there for a while. But I think the viability of illustration, making it a much better experience and much better for them financially because people are engaged. And it, draws the viewer in. There's all kinds of advantages, especially when something is not very creative, not very exciting, to bring something exciting to a visual can make a huge difference.
It's 6:35. Is it time to move on to the second image?
I should have moved on a long time ago.
All right, everybody, we're going to move on to photo reference number 2. Is that Timothy?
Timothy.
Timothy. That's what I always.
Timothy.
My fellow Timothy. My fellow Timothy. We're gonna move on to image 2. So post your work to Instagram using hashtag illustration isolation and add visual arts passage, and we're gonna check it out at the end. The panelists will slowly move on to image 2, but if you're in the audience, I highly recommend doing it now. So someone
I
said,
agree, Rebecca.
yeah, someone said Tilda Swinton is so hard to draw.
She has such a unique bone structure. Like, yeah, you do it wrong and it just looks weird.
I feel like she's super easy to draw.
Oh, John, that looks cool.
I have no idea what I'm doing here.
Oh, that is very cool.
That's nice.
But I know I need to stop and go on.
Oh, Dale, that's awesome.
Yeah, Dale is cool.
She's got such
Sure,
an
it's
amazing
easy.
face.
Bill, you're already well into.
Oh, that looks good, Bill.
Thanks.
Nice.
I was drawing Timothy with my left hand for a little bit.
What?
Yeah.
Rub the awesomeness in a little bit more with some salt.
For a little bit, and then I switched to my right hand.
You know, this is being recorded, Bill. So if in the playback we find out you weren't being honest, we'll know.
You'll know.
We'll
Yeah.
know. Or you could just mirror. You could be using the Zoom mirror. That would be a brilliant Zoom joke.
When you're gaming Zoom, that's when you know
Yeah,
it's time to go out and play.
yeah. Thanks, Dale.
Well, no, you know what I mean. I wasn't criticizing you. I'm just criticizing you.
He was. He was. I was trying.
I know my natural instinct, Dale, is to just snap back at you.
Just hit, yeah.
I'm like a dog,
That's okay.
dog that bites.
That's okay. If you were a dog, you'd be your dog biting John, except me. biting me
Probably.
now.
No, I'm a dog that bites.
You're like a chihuahua.
That's
Couldn't help it.
that's my favorite line from Isle of Dogs is when I think it's the George Clooney dog, or is it Bryan Cranston just goes, "I bite."
It's funny.
And then he tells the story of when he bit his new owner. It was so sad, you know? And I loved it. He goes, "I don't know why I did it, but I bit."
But that's funny.
That would be a fun movie to be able to see the voice acting of it. You know, to see the actors.
I think they're pretty like expressive because I think they have to be like physical.
Yeah, to like help the animators.
Uh-huh.
Is anyone watching the Beatles thing?
No, I want to though.
Yeah, I do too.
What is the Beatles thing?
It's
Peter Jackson.
it's all anyone's talking about on my social media. So it's funny how I love when that happens.
Yeah.
Because people would be like, "Oh my God, how about that?" And usually I'm like, "Huh?"
We're
it's
in
a-
different bubbles, I guess.
Yeah, slightly different. This is where we didn't intersect. You're pushing rocks up hills, and
Yeah. I'm just like looking at different, like all I'm getting served is like different jujitsu tutorials.
yeah. Isn't it amazing how quickly it's just descends on you, the
Dale,
algorithm?
5 months ago, I never had seen a jujitsu video on social media in my life, and now it's all I see.
Yep.
Um,
It's like a super indulgent parent.
yeah,
Oh, you like baseball? It's going to be all baseball.
yeah. Yeah, mine was bodybuilders for a while. Like I was found one bodybuilder fascinating. It was like, I guess you're a bodybuilder. Here, here you go, Timmy.
Did you start spending hundreds of dollars on supplements? Well,
Yeah.
sure, that looks like a good supplement.
Yeah, actually, that's why I don't have my video on right now. This whole office is just full of supplements.
We'll call you Swole Timmy.
Just floor to ceiling. Yeah.
So,
Hey, we actually have another question from, let me know if I'm pronouncing this incorrectly. Basim or Bassam? Let's say Bassam. Let me know if that's right. How do you guys think the trajectory for creatives in the time of COVID-19 is going to pan out? How have you been affected, and how do you think it'll affect this new generation of artists and designers alike?
Question.
That's Bassam from, he's a freshman at, they're a freshman at Parsons in New York.
Oh,
Awesome.
wow. Well, I mean, John and Timmy, you guys could really speak to that. Look what you're doing here, right?
Yeah, I'm not an illustrator, so if I'm going to answer, I want to go last.
Yeah, but you're
Yeah.
you're in a business that caters to. So I think,
Yeah. Well, I would say that location is increasingly becoming less important. And COVID made that rapidly obvious to everyone. That's probably,
it accelerated it. I think it was happening, and
yes.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yes. We had Vanessa Del Rey in Studio Bridge for the Artist Spotlight. And John asked her if she thought living in New York, she lives in, I think she lives in like Brooklyn.
She lives in Brooklyn now. Yeah.
Yeah. How important is it to like live in New York as a comic book artist? She was like, not at all. I mean,
wow.
So, and I just think that those barriers are becoming less and less important, and the ability to have real relationships online that are actually meaningful is becoming like more real, I think. I really have to think about that. I don't know that I could say exactly how it's going to pan out. I think that people are going to adapt. I would be hard pressed to believe that believe in like a pessimistic perspective on it. I think people will figure out ways to make it work, especially creatives. Yeah. John, what do you think?
Oh, no, I think studios are going to open up to the idea that people don't have to live in a certain location. I think that's already been really popularized in the last year and a half. The people I know that work in studios don't go into them anymore. And so I think they're going to realize that it's not as big a need for somebody as a freelancer. I think it's just verifies what's been going on for a long time. You can live anywhere. I think that's, I still think a trend in the illustration world is always going to be that way. It's been that way for a long time, but the personal, that's something you can do to identify. The more you can do to identify yourself, and I don't think that COVID changes that one bit. No. I think I think it's business as usual for the illustration world. It's more, I think the things that are popularized, the things that happen have been happening for a while. They're just going to continue to do the same thing.
Yeah, I would say I don't know about the long term of this, but if you're just talking about like the very technical like issues that are coming up with like new variants and stuff like that, is anything that requires a person to cross borders right now, it is very hard to predict if that's going to be possible or reliable. And so like, I think that ability to work mobile is like, I think it's just becoming more acceptable due to those circumstances. And it's just far more economical. I don't like seeing borders get closed, obviously, but it's definitely happening. But I wouldn't be, I know it's easy for people, especially because we're all, I don't know how many people are like isolated now, but it's definitely quieter of a living experience. And you're a freshman at Parsons, so I imagine your freshman year at Parsons was probably very interesting. I think that people are kind of slowly coming out of the woodwork, and we'll all find ways to be comfortable, but I have to be around people. So I did the work from home for a while and I couldn't do it. it was not pretty.
Huh.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I'm just echoing what John said. I didn't feel like much changed at all when when everything shut down. And I don't say that, with any sense of superiority or anything. It was just,
Just your lifestyle.
Most illustrators work in isolation, and at least to some degree.
And it's so complicated. Yeah.
I think people are just catching up or just getting used to it. And this is the way we've been going for a long time now, though, increasingly towards, just in our own bubbles and doing our own things. And there's a lot about that I really, really don't like, but it's a reality,
Yeah. You and me both, Dale. Dale, I agree with you on that. The announcement of Meta. Oh my God.
It was so stupid.
I know.
But dismiss it at your peril, because
no, I know. This will be like a comical, like video recording to listen to you and me.
I know.
And then, meanwhile, property in the meta, digital real estate in the metaverse is selling for more than, our homes.
Yeah. But as far as how this is going to pan out for creatives, I think I don't mean to sound dismissive at all, but I don't think that much changes, and I think the nature of being in the creative field is to be creative, and you work your way around things and you find new ways of doing things, and if you don't, you can be sure somebody else is going to. So the real question for me is about value. I think one of the things that the internet has brought, John, you said your father looked at Instagram and said, what did he say? Where did all these good artists come from, or something?
Yeah, it's like he was shocked at the number of people I was connected to and how many good artists that I was connected to on my phone.
Yeah, like, I don't know about you guys, and I really want to hear your opinion. For me, there's sort of this equalizing element to that kind of, it feels like it could devalue I don't know, devalue what we do, because it's like there's so many people who are really good, and I think the thing that really separates professionals from good amateurs now is just going out there and really plugging for work, because it's certainly not skill. I mean, geez, there's so many extremely skilled amateurs, and by amateurs I mean people who are popular on social media, but are not making a living from their work.
Mhm.
See, that's the thing that I was trying to tie into that, Dale, and that is the people that are, whatever you want to call it, personal, have a really strong vision, a voice, point of view, and set themselves apart. But the ones that can do that in the confines of the industry. Timmy and I had this discussion recently, and Timmy made me think about something I hadn't really considered as much. And he was saying, he says, yeah, but the power of a big social media following is important now.
It is.
Somebody can get a job based on having huge numbers. I think it's
It's not irrelevant.
Well, hey,
No.
I agree with both of you in that I think it's less important.
no. Well, put it this way: if you're a publisher and you're going to hire someone to do your book cover, one person, you have two people of equal skill, and one person has 50,000 Twitter followers, and the other has 2,000. Who's going to market your?
Yeah.
Who's going to market your product?
Right. It is built-in marketing.
Yeah. It's real.
I think where the issue lies with, in my opinion, the issue is that following, I feel like today, so not based on when Instagram started, but like on current standards, if you were to open an Instagram account today and build a following, I believe that following is based, and I'm speaking in my opinion, it could be wrong, is based on nothing, just algorithm garbage.
Sure. Hey man, that's the stock market. So
yeah, but I think the stock market though is actually inspired by people's choices, not by like corporations, like mathematical, like server brain.
So functionally, what's the difference?
Functionally is that like
people are, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, so like if you, recently they just disabled this, but recently if you posted images to Facebook that had 20% typography in it or more, it was blocked from most people.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, what do you mean by typography? Just
Like writing on your image in any way. Like
yeah. And the reason it did that was because it's hard to run an ad, like a visual ad, without copy on it. And these companies are making their money with ad revenue. That's, so that's most of their revenue. I think it's like, this is old, but like 4 years ago, like 70+% of Google's revenue was AdWords. These companies are all based on ad dollars. And so they're saying what they're doing is they're blocking your images with words because they want to make you pay a premium to use your following with ads, so I don't want to like be like too doom and gloom about social, but
oh man, why not?
But I think it's I feel torn on it. It's like there's a lot of good things that come from it, but I do think that it's like responsible for a lot of like anxiety, depression, and I don't think it's normal the way people interact on it.
Well, I'm pretty sure Dale didn't like my last drawing I posted.
I think I did.
And it really pissed me off.
I think I did like it. No, I liked it, and you didn't like my like. So I am angry.
Okay, here's an answer to that, Dale. You can do that?
You never like my likes. Ugh.
the nerve.
I eventually do.
Yeah.
I'm not very diligent.
Not either. I'm horrible. My wife is always like, "Didn't you see my text?" I'm like, well, can you tell me what it was now? Look, like, okay.
Somebody just said kid vlogs are weird, but there's a comedian that does a bit where he said his kid, their dream is to become a YouTube vlogger. And he goes, so we just have her record videos to our phones and tell her it's on YouTube.
I love that. That's awesome. Kid's gonna go looking pretty soon, though.
Yeah, unfortunately. That's the crazy thing is if I had a kid, I don't know when I would say you could have a phone or something.
Oh yeah, I don't want my kids to have them anytime soon.
Yeah, I
Oh
can't.
man, Cassandra, I feel bad for you. Jeez.
Oh, I know. I feel bad for my kids. Like I never had to grow up like as a teenager with social media. Like when you leave school or leave a difficult day, you get to leave it at school and it doesn't follow you home, but social media does.
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking about how many times in high school it was like a Friday night and I wanted to go do something and I had T9 texting, like flip phone texting,
Oh wow.
and like nobody responded. And, it's like 9-10 o'clock and you're like, I guess I'm not doing anything. Unless I did a ton of research, I never found out that they all hung out without me. Like I would have to do like some deep research to figure out that there was an event that I missed. But now it would be like,
Photos.
It would be heartbreaking.
Yeah. They're all there and I'm not.
Yeah.
That's what I do when I don't show up here and I see the good time you guys had. I just hang out on YouTube all night and watch illustration. I play the song over and over.
Wait, do you just play the episode and then talk to us like you're here?
I do. I dominate the conversation and I end up swearing at you.
You just like, Timmy, I'm talking.
Most common thing. No, you're wrong.
I pause it and say, Timmy, I'm talking.
Hale, that looks really good.
Oh, thanks. I'm about to ruin it. Thank you.
Here,
In the moment, it looks awesome.
I'm gonna
Thank you.
spotlight it before you do.
Yeah, my kids, my daughter in particular has said to me, thank God I didn't have all of this, when I was growing up, just escaped.
How old is your daughter?
She's 24.
Oh, I feel like she had a lot of it. It's so interesting how that.
Yeah, but
But
really
in
think about it.
comparison, it's not as much.
No, like social media for kids, like they got on Facebook for a minute and then Instagram.
Yeah.
But as kids, those real formative years when you either learn how to use your imagination or you've got an iPad in front of you.
Yeah.
They escaped that.
I also understand parents that are like giving their kid. I mean,
Totally.
I understand it too.
Yeah, no, I don't judge. I mean, I don't think it's right, but I remember I was with the kids a lot and I'm just like, oh my God, what now? It's 4 o'clock.
Yeah. Man.
So we would end up playing Car Crash, and that's when you get on one end of the hall and you have your Hot Wheels and the kids get in the other end of the hall and you send them down the hall as fast as you can and hope that it doesn't end up in stitches.
Yeah. I was thinking of all the things we did out of just sheer boredom that never would have happened if we had social media. Like,
oh yeah, I want my kids to be bored and I'm just like, here's cardboard, go have fun.
Right.
Like I just don't want them to know about the stuff yet.
if I had a kid, hypothetical kid, and I think that this is what I would do. The second they were like, I want a phone, I would let them play with fire. I would be like, you're old enough now. Here's a box of matches. I'd be like, this is safer.
Yeah, it's super dangerous. I don't know.
Yeah.
Cassandra, good luck.
Ugh,
Cassandra,
yeah.
can you use my fire technique? And let
Yeah,
me know, let me know
I'll
how
just
it
pass
goes.
you my insurance bill, after
Yeah.
they learn their lesson.
Well, I was talking with my brothers the other day because we were talking about all the dangerous stuff we did. We got Ray Bonilla coming in here.
What?
I was talking with my brother about, I remember we were just so bored one day and my dad just gave us a bunch of mouse traps.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we were like, what are we supposed to do? And he was like, make something with them. And what we did, we got spoons and we tied them to the trap. And then we had those like lead balls from that game Crossfire.
Yeah.
And it was like the most dangerous. I mean, it would make a hole in drywall. It would go through a wall.
That's awesome.
It was just like a homemade bullet. Like it was so bad. Yeah.
Timmy, you want to write a book about your father?
Oh man. I remember he goes, here's some mouse traps.
Oh, I mean, the stuff we pulled as a kid. I remember my brothers and I, when my parents weren't home, we had a living room. You walk into the living room and above it was the loft, the second floor. So we would like move the couches and the cushions and jump from the loft to the cushions and like climb the wall. And like years later, they were like, why are we seeing footprints up the wall? And we were like, oh, I don't know. And like, but they didn't figure it out for, 5-6 years. We were already onto something else.
That's really funny, Cassandra. About 3 years ago, my kids are 24 and 21. And about 3 years ago, in this room they used to just just play in and do all that stuff in. I was down there with my son and I just looked up at the ceiling and I realized there were these little footprints. And I looked at them, then I looked down at him and he's just looking at me kind of funny. And I'm like, what the hell? And he said, I've been hoping for 10 years you wouldn't find that. I said, how? And he said, you don't want to know. So
we had
I have no
another
idea.
summer where we found our parents' bulk box of rubber bands. Who knows why they had a bulk box of rubber bands, but we made our own rubber band guns and would have
Oh yeah.
rubber band wars throughout the whole house. And forever the vacuum cleaner would clog and my mom would be like, I don't understand why it's clogging. And we would pick up rubber bands by the handful, throw them back in the box and put them back in their hiding spot. And like, she had no clue that it was just clogged over and over again with our rubber bands.
Oh my God.
Did Ray really come in here?
Yeah, we got Ray.
I did. I'm just listening to how horrible of a child Cassandra was, actually.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Look forward
Nightmare.
to it with your little baby girl.
I know. I'm already writing notes down. Check the ceilings.
Check ceiling.
Check ceilings.
Yeah.
You thought girls would be easier.
Yeah, everyone always says that.
Yeah, Ray, does your little girl did she go with the plus or just regular iPhone?
That's funny.
Well, she put down a down payment for the VR classes. So
Oh, sweet.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, those are probably really good for a baby to wear.
yeah.
Start them young.
Yeah, it'll allow her eyeballs to adjust to the metaverse.
Oh, God.
See, now I'm kind of coming up with a theory here because we're all fairly creative, and I was really the creative one in my family, and I got bored easily. So I would do things like see what the magnifying glass would do to carpet, and run and jump at the couch as fast as I could and try to fly onto the couch and not get back into the wall.
Are you talking about like after we do this here?
No, as a kid.
This year? Oh.
That's like how you
Oh,
kick back after an episode.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
but I would fling myself across the room at the couch and fly and or get,
You're definitely a terrier. Yeah.
If you didn't preface that you were doing that as a kid, I would have thought that this is the best PSA for like why you shouldn't do mushrooms. You know.
For why you should actually, but
Yeah.
No, Christopher the model was an extremely bored child, and I'm pretty sure he can't get in trouble for this now. The statute is passed. But when he was like really young, he was playing with leaves and matches to bring it all back to matches. And somebody gave them a single bottle rocket, and they fired it, and it went up into the air, and it landed in their whole neighborhood. Back in the day, would pile all of their leaves into this empty pot, and it caught on fire. And he said some woman drove by and saw him and said, "Run away now." And he ran home, and he said his entire family has no idea where he was or what he was doing, and they all watched this fire on the news.
Oh my goodness.
wow,
Yeah,
yikes.
yeah, terrible. I don't think any property burned, but it was enough to get like news crews. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not gonna turn him in, but that's Christopher the model. Is that like
Yeah, Chris.
a middle name? The model. How do you spell
Christopher,
model?
That is the middle.
And then last name is Model.
Model. Got it.
You never met Christopher the Model, Raymond.
No,
That was
I.
before your time with the show.
That was during his
That was
live brush days, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah.
His canceled
Freewheeling. It's on hiatus. It's coming back.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I heard the
So was
CW.
MASH.
The CW picking it up. It's an 11 p.m. CW show.
So is MASH. Oh my god.
That other great show.
Did MASH like threaten to come back? Was it like,
I'm threatening it to come back.
yeah.
Well, there was After MASH.
You know,
It's
when
gotta be
you
more
said that, I
contemporary. It needs to be
immediately
like
heard
Deadwood.
the theme song in my head.
Here's a question from Ashley that open to the room. How did you determine you wanted to be an illustrator and not pursue another art-related career? I immediately think of you, Ray, because didn't you want to be an animator?
Yeah. I had wanted to do animation since forever. Studied to try to take as many classes as I could. I wanted to work in video games, and as part of like my sort of foray into animation, I would, get all these Disney DVDs and watch the behind the scenes over and over and over again. And so one of those was Treasure Planet, and they had on one of their behind the scenes, they had an inspiration thing for the visual inspiration for the film, and it was actually a mini documentary on the N.C. Wyeth and the Brandywine River artist. And so that was my first introduction, and I was like, I've never seen anything like this before in my entire life. And that was pretty much it. The seed was sort of planted, and I just needed like a push. And the first actual illustrator I met, I don't know if anyone knows Dennis Dietrich. Anyone know
Sure, yeah.
Dennis?
Sure.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Dennis and I were I enrolled into I used to take continuing ed courses at SVA during the summer so I can get better at everything. And so one of them was an animation course, and Dennis had enrolled in it because he was like, hey, I want to see what this animation thing is about. And I see this guy, was like, who is this old, it's continuing ed. You usually see older people there, but I was like, man, this guy can draw. And kind of the rest is history. All he told me was, here's what you want to do. You want to get The Illustrator in America by Walt Reed, and you want to just read that front to back and then back to front. And then he said, I think you could do it. Why don't you give illustration a shot? And that was it. Isn't that crazy? So that's yeah. So, but
it works.
And it works. Yeah, it worked. But I still studied as an animator. I even went to grad school for it, but then I realized around the first semester is like, as much as I love animation, I really, really like things like drawing the figure and landscape, and the idea of learning landscape painting, because I hadn't learned how to paint until I was like, you know, in my mid-20s.
That's amazing. No kidding.
Yeah. So I was young, you know, right out of school. I'd only been painting for like 2-3 years.
Before anyone else chimes in, I think we're ready for our third and final pose. So Ray, since you just got started, we'll let you can keep drawing Timothy.
No,
Great, do the first two quickly.
Oh, follow your heart. But we're gonna move on to our final pose, which is Francis McDormand, or I don't have the
Steve
other-
Park.
Steve
or
Park.
Steve Park, yes. So you can choose either of those two images, and this is our long pose, so we'll go long. Before you move on, please post your drawing of Timothy with hashtag illustration isolation and add visual arts passage. Did anybody else have a like kind of a curvy path to illustration?
Oh my God, yeah, I did. I was a editorial cartoonist. And
Sorry about that.
I loved it. Are you kidding me? It was awesome.
Yeah, you got to go back further than that though, Dale.
Oh,
Before editorial, you know, everyone's seen it. It's our I think it's John's official.
no, actually,
advertisement.
actually, I was that period. I was already I was making a living as oh well, I was a caricature artist at parties at that point when I was in a band, and then at the same time I started doing editorial cartoons.
Oh no way! I didn't know that you. I guess I missed that part of your.
Oh my
lecture
God,
where you
man!
talked about-
Oh, I've done so many bar mitzvahs, you know, wedding.
That's awesome.
I remember one point I realized I had drawn over 200,000
Whoa.
party caricatures.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it explains why you're so good at identifying features and maybe making people look like they're supposed to.
It was hell after a while because we traveled a lot. So we would do the whole college circuit. So like parents' weekend, and then a lot of, I got to go to, actually I've been to all 50, you know, not all 50, I have been to Hawaii, but you know, the lower 48, pretty much everything.
Wow.
Yeah, and we did some really cool stuff, and we did some really gnarly stuff. Like we did a lot of corporate gigs, you know, like Hilton Head and Lake of the Ozarks, and like just like 5-star resorts, cruise ships. And you know, it's cheesy caricatures, party caricatures, but
yeah.
you know, for like a 20-year-old, I was making 19-20-year-old, I was making sick money and seeing the country and trying to figure out just how to, you know, what to do with this weird ability.
Yeah.
So, you know, that eventually ended up here at this desk talking to you guys.
Oh, how the mighty have fallen.
I know. It's funny. I had a this solo show that was massive as far as the turnout. Had a ton of people come in 2014, and the woman who used to book me for the party character stuff came, and like she was crying, and she's like, "I'm so happy for you," and she said, "I'll never forget the last time I saw you." And I was like, "I have no idea when that was. I'm sorry." And she said, "We were at whatever bar mitzvah, and they're 4-hour gigs, and it turned into like a 6-hour thing." And she said, "You walked out and you had this look in your eye, and you said to me, you didn't even look at me, and you walked past me and you said, I'm never doing this again. And I never saw you again.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
it's fun.
That's awesome. Wow.
It's almost like you were a trained assassin, you know? This is
Yeah.
my last one.
Well, I feel like I've gotten just super all over the place, which I just think is hilarious because I studied illustration, wanted to be an illustrator, went to Trader Joe's and artist, which was kind of illustration, kind of mural painting all over the place, got into fine arts. And then now I'm getting some illustration gigs like from being in the fine art. It's just like all over the place. It all just intermingles.
Totally.
It's certainly not linear, is it?
No.
No.
You know, that's,
And you
that's
think
why,
it is too. I mean, at least I was like convinced it was. I'm like, you step A, you do this. Step B, you do that.
Yeah.
Right? It's like you get your portfolio together, you get an agent, and then you get work,
Right.
and then you start like shopping for suits or like, you know.
And then you win
Yeah,
awards.
yeah.
right. Book the limo for the Society of Illustrators, and
Yeah.
good.
Figure out what color Porsche you're gonna get. That's the
Yeah.
first-
Yeah.
Well, but John, that was what you saw growing up, though.
Yeah.
People were figuring out what color Porsche they were going to get.
Or leasing the Cadillac.
Well, that was like do you guys know John Rush? By any
Oh, yeah.
chance?
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Is he still working?
He's doing a lot of personal painting, a lot of fine art stuff.
Really good.
Which he kind of had like a dual career, you know, in that. And I did chilled with Eleanor Edinger for a long time. Actually, along when John, your dad, was at Edinger,
Yep.
apparently he was there. But John's a good friend of mine. He was a mentor of mine in at grad school, and so he had told me that when he went to Art Center, and Al Parker came by and spoke to the students, and people said he said, you know, how do you he had said, well, how much you know, how do you get work or something, like how consistent is your work? How do you how much do you get paid for a piece or something? And Al Parker his answer was like, you know, I like Porsches, and I pretty much buy everyone that comes out, and the people at the dealership just know what I'm gonna get, like just that I just want the new one. So I figure, you know, I just do. He had said something like a few magazine illustrations pretty much covers it, or like one or two.
What?
Yeah, and
Jeez.
and John's sitting there saying, you know, this guy from the Midwest, you know, could barely he doesn't know how he's going to scratch together money to eat the next day, you know, is listening to this. And he's like, wow, you know, and he told me, he's like, yep. And I knew at that point that I had missed the boat. Whatever party it was a long gone, you know.
Yeah. Jeez.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
Hey, Ray,
glad
Randy asks, what are your thoughts about a young illustrator getting an agent, since you mentioned an agent?
oh wow, you know, I am probably not the, you know, I've tried to get an agent actually, and it was probably, I'm actually happy, you know, I work with people here and there. You know, back in the day, it used to be like you know, to be honest, Randy, I'm probably not the person to answer this question because I don't have one. But I mean, just looking at it from my talking to discussions with people who have had agents in the past or currently have agents, like there's a lot of use for them for sure, especially they have access to certain art buyers that just are very hard or almost impossible to kind of get, you know, because they're this certain type of advertising agency or something like that, and they work with their people. But you know, I found that like I don't know how necessary it is these days with the exposure that you can get yourself. I mean, but I don't know. I mean, what does everybody else think?
Ray, I think you're right on the money on that. I think it also depends, like, you know, the accessible part of our industry is probably the editorial market and magazine illustration, or doing magazine articles, editorial articles. It's the easiest entry point into our industry as a freelancer. I don't think you need an agent for that. I think you can do that on your own. And the cool thing about editorial is, everybody sees it, especially as you grow and get into better magazines. Everybody already sees it. There's not much an agent can do for you there. But on the institutional and the advertising side, there's a lot an agent can do for you. And I always thought that there's no point of having an agent until you got to a point that you couldn't handle it yourself.
Right.
Right. And I think it's really healthy for young artists to get out and represent themselves, because they can, number one, learn what to look for in an agent, understand what they need to do. That's my opinion.
The other thing too is the you're absolutely right, of course, about editorial, but that's also the lowest paying part of the
Right.
Well, I mean, children's book illustration, if you really break it down to what you're being paid per page when you first get into it, you're really making pennies. But
And another area that really is beneficial to have an agent.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. But editorial, the other thing too is, like, when I had a rep, and the biggest benefit there was, they were New York based, and the editorial market was largely New York based, and they would see these people all the time. They would go and do portfolio days and take them to lunch and wine them, dine them, and all that stuff. And back to that earlier question about how this whole thing is affecting creatives, I have a suspicion that is not happening anymore. Right. So that's, to me, that was the biggest benefit of having a rep, was just that they had access. And now if I have the same access just through social media, come on, man.
Good point, Dale.
Right.
I have a theory that I don't know necessarily. I think that being part of a art collective or studio makes more sense than not a studio in the traditional sense that maybe you guys are thinking of. I just sent a link to arthouse.co that's run by a few of my friends. And it's just a collection of many different creators. And there's a lot of other studios like this. Maybe not exactly like this, but it's just like a collection community of commissionable artists. And essentially, like, these are people who have connections with brands that don't necessarily like have an illustrator's agent connection, but they have problems they need solved. And they hit up a studio like Art House and they say, hey, we need this problem solved. Art House is like, okay, we got this huge toolbox of people. Do you need a photographer? Do you need this? And you end up with a lot more industry in that regard, I think.
Sure.
I feel like that's a pretty new, not extremely new, but I think that's a relatively new concept. And I think they're also not nearly as expensive to work with as I'm not speaking specifically for Art House, but in general, I think it's more financially viable than like working directly with an agent, which is what, from your experience, is that what, 20 to 30%?
It's 30 now. Most of them.
Yeah.
I think for a new illustrator, it would be 30. So really do the math there. You're doing, let's say you get a $1,000 editorial job, knock off 30%, and then knock off whatever you're going to have to put away for taxes. If there are any materials involved, pretty soon, I mean, that $1,000 job is now it's a $300 job, but you've got to treat it like $1,000 job. So
Not much better on the painting side either.
oh my God, I know.
It took me a long time before I could make a living as a selling paintings. what you think is going to be good. And you say, okay, if I'm selling paintings for $2,500 to $5,000, you think, well, sell 40 paintings a year, you do okay. Not so much. The marketing, the framing, the shipping, what lands on the artist, you got to get into a higher bracket than that.
Yeah, agreed. And your output's got it, because you basically can just cut everything in half. My first realization for me for that was after doing my first solo show, calculating how much I could potentially make on it, and it was depressing for an illustrator work.
Yeah.
But like anything, it's it takes for most of us. I mean, there are always exceptions to the rules. I mean, I've had friends that have gotten out of grad school and just done incredible, but for the most part, it's for a sustainable career that's really long term. It's slow and steady kind of wins the race in that regard, right? And you're just
Definitely. Yeah.
Just
Can I
being
say
smart about your career moves.
The benefit to the pandemic was there was a lot of virtual shows, and I saved money on not having to ship to the gallery, and just like if it's sold, then like I just have to ship from the house, and like the buyer pays the shipping by that point.
Right. Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
no, go ahead.
no, what were you saying, Bill? Sorry.
I was just thinking, like for me, I was starting to have shows, and then that kind of disappeared, and so I've got to explore the virtual show.
Well, also, like, I think a lot of a parallel question to like, do I need an agent? A lot of times it's like, do I need a gallery?
Mm-hmm.
And the answer is, it depends on what you want to do, because I know a lot of people who are look at, I mean, just finished up Studio Bridge, Ashley, I mean, for all intents and purposes, Ashley's a fine artist, but just self-publishes everything, and crowd funds. So Ashley's got a project, boom, she goes to her patrons. It's just a new way of doing the same thing. It's just you're buying yourself time to do more of the work that you love, and so.
Yeah, you're just you're going directly to your patrons instead of having the gallery.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you have more access to a lot of things like that. I mean, so the galleries have also had to learn the fact that like they're not the sole gateway to an audience anymore, as they were, back in the day, before really kind of e-commerce was a viable thing for artists. And I think agents kind of are starting to realize that too, because I mean, you don't have to take my word for it. You just look at any source book, or just any. I mean, I was looking at the Directory of Illustration, old school.
Is that still around?
Book. No, I just own a bunch of them.
Oh, okay.
I'm a huge like nerd like that. So
I
look
do
at
too.
old school pieces,
Yeah.
So it's so I got to go back and look everybody up. I was telling John that I remember there's a Bloodhound piece that he did, one of my favorite, like a Bloodhound on a couch. It was green couch.
Yep, did it for Science Diet.
Yeah,
Oh,
that was
nice.
awesome.
Oh,
I
that's
love that
awesome.
one. Yeah.
I have some horrifying stuff in those, like American Showcase.
Okay. I know what I'm doing tonight with
Oh my God, man!
No.
Look at that! I was like, that was like a $6,000 buy right there.
Wait, is that another episode of Dale going, I'm never doing this again?
Oh, I tell you what, looking back, the work is terrible, but I got tons of work. Those source books were fantastic at the time.
Yeah, they had their run, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I mean, that was so worth it. A $6,000 spread easily brought in $40,000-$50,000 worth of work easily.
Wow.
And that's one book.
Yeah, I got to tell you, I may have said this to you before, but I I'm trying to think, Ira Shapiro, right? He's the one who owned
Yeah.
it. So I got into this big battle with Ira Shapiro over, he did like the workbook, and then he did this book like called The Gold something, or it was supposed to be just, you had to be invited to be in it.
Oh,
And
yeah, yeah, I remember that.
And it made you feel so good to get invited to be in this thing. And so I told my dad how excited I was. I said, hey, I got invited in to do that. And he kind of looked at me and he goes, like, why are you doing that? And he goes, that's costing you a lot of money to do that. And I said, well, I was telling him the pricing and all that stuff. And I said, for Christ's sakes, Dad, you got a spread in the workbook, you got the American Showcase, all these things, you got spreads and all that. And he looked at me, and I'd never thought of it before. He goes, they give those things to me. He goes, I don't buy those.
Oh my!
He goes,
God.
they give them to me so that guys like you will buy it.
Yep.
It's like,
Yep.
oh man.
Well, I had
I
no
know.
idea about that.
Don't
Oh.
dig for gold, sell the shovels. That's
Yep.
I learned that right there.
I had John. I forget who it was, but I had a similar conversation. It was at the society, and the exact same conversation. It's like I was telling him, we're talking about which books are good and all that, and I just said exactly what I just said. $6,000-7,000, whatever. And he chuckled. He's like, I would never pay to be in that thing. I'm like, what?
You are in it.
Huh? You are, yeah. He's like, exactly what your father said, and I just felt like such a chump. But
So
it
did I.
worked. They worked. They did.
I did get a lot of work from him.
Yeah.
I really did.
But that really wasn't that a shock? Like, even that was your father, but I was like, oh, there's this like this divide. I got to be one of those
There's
guys.
a secret underground cabal that runs the.
That's right.
I found it so motivating.
Yeah.
Like, I was
What,
furious.
what got me, Dale, is the type of work I got from those books, because you would like agencies, smaller agencies in the Midwest or different parts, not in New York or LA, would use those things and find my work in it.
Yep.
And they were always the most difficult jobs because they
Yep.
weren't accustomed to buying art. And
Right.
it's like you had to educate them on, okay, no, you need to give that painting back to me. I didn't sell you the painting. I sold you.
Oh
the
my
work.
God, yes.
Oh my
I had that happen to me so many different times from those types of jobs.
Yeah, I had one who said, I have good news. I'm like, okay. The publisher likes your painting so much that we gave it to him. I'm like, that is good news.
Well, I got really bad news for you.
Yeah, that's really good news, because that's going to be another $5,000. Awesome. Thank you.
Oh my God!
Oh gosh.
Uh,
That's so
great
funny
news.
because it's like, no, most of the time you're doing like editorial work, no problem. You just breeze through the job. They're accustomed to buying work all the time.
Yeah.
And then you do something for an agency in, Tulsa, and your life stops over it.
I know.
Ew, how did they
It's-
handle that? How did they handle that news? Were
What's
they,
that?
like, when you told them like,
I was always very good about, I wasn't.
were they shocked?
Yeah, and I just had to
Yeah.
explain to them that we actually had a contract, and you bought first American rights for a year. That means this, and
You're kind of introducing them to the
that's
world.
where you that was back in the days when contracts were much more important, I think. So really, it was just, it was a matter of just pointing out, well, we signed this thing, and these are the rights, and it's not a big deal. I'm happy that whoever liked it, and great. Just
I had a client when I was a photographer, and part of my contract, I had a cancellation fee. If you canceled like within 3 weeks of the shoot, I would get like 3/4 of the day rate. And they canceled the shoot like 5 times.
oh wow,
It became lucrative. Like, it made my year because of their
awesome.
cancellations. At the time, my day rate was like $1,200. It was amazing. And then this is really fun. I was working with Jeremy Collins, the illustrator, and we were doing a movie, and we got invited to go to a film festival that was in Bilbao, Spain.
Oh my God.
And so it was thrilling. I mean, it was like so exciting. And the departure date was the day that they had done the final rescheduling of that shoot.
Oh my God.
And at this point, I billed them like $4,500 in cancellation fees. And I call them and I'm like, hey, so this is going to be tough to hear, guys.
That's awesome.
But I'm going to have to cancel. Yeah.
What kind of photography did you do?
That was like corporate videos. So they're like corporate interviews.
Oh, okay.
Most of I was reminiscing with a friend earlier this week about most of the time I was like a photo assistant or a second camera. I did a lot of PA stuff, which was fun because it kept me busy like all the time.
Yeah.
And if you're living in Kansas City, that is a really difficult, like I was working like 3 to 4 days a week, and that's not easy to do in Kansas City. I just like fell in with the right crowd and like started getting hired a lot. And so it was fun because I was like 22, 23, and it was just like, it paid really well, but it was usually you're hearing it from your daughter on a much more exciting level. It's just like every day is different. There's just crazy problems. I very, very slightly got to brush with like the exciting stuff with like a couple celebrities, things like that, you know? And that's all like very exciting. I mean, that was really exciting for me. But most of the stuff was like, I got hired for like, when it was just me, myself, outside of editing was majority of the money I made, like as a freelancer. But
so you're more on the video side.
Yeah, I ended up mostly on the video side. But I remember I got, just on the topic of like dealing with corporate companies that didn't know what was going on, I got hired by this large property owner development in Kansas City, and I did a video shoot for them and billed them, and they paid me and everything was great. And then at the end of the year, they sent me an apology email and said, we are so sorry, we completely forgot to pay you. And they sent me another check. And I called my dad and I said, what should I do? And he said, you should send them another invoice and see what happens.
That's amazing. What a mind. What a mind.
Wow.
He was like, you should ride this wave as far as it takes you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Did you?
That's a start.
No, I didn't. I did not continue to ride the wave.
Yeah.
That is so your father saying that though.
Oh my God, yeah.
That's amazing. I was just telling somebody the bull story the other day, which we don't have to repeat here, but
I don't know that that's an illustration.
No, it's not. But it's one of the best stories I've ever heard in my life. And
Okay, I'm gonna need to hear this later. Then.
Yeah, I encourage anybody.
You know what, Dale? I'm gonna think about it because I love to share that story, but it's
no.
It's kind of a spicy story.
Timmy, I'm telling you, don't share that here. If anybody meets Timmy, please ask him about the bull story, and hopefully he'll tell you. But wow. Oh. And I was thinking about it because a neighbor asked me to help him out with something, and I immediately reflected on that.
Well, I'm not going to tell the story, but the gist of it is there were many people that asked my dad for a favor, and my dad went above and beyond to make whatever their problem was like somehow 10 times worse. But with like
Timmy, that's the story where it finishes. Well, do you have anything else I can help you
have
with?
anything else?
Yeah. Hey, anything else I can do for you? Like the house is on fire. No, actually, I'm looking out my window at my neighbor's house, which long time ago was my dad's neighbor. He lived in my house. And the older gentleman that lived there was in his backyard trying to cut down a tree. And my dad was like, "Hey, Ron, let me give you a hand. I'm more than happy to help." And he didn't know. Ron was just like, he was this like 70-year-old man, and he was just like day drunk trying to take this tree down. And my dad shows up and just totally enables this guy to try and help him remove the tree. And it, another friend of my dad told me, he goes, I showed up, and he goes, and it clearly was like we were at that moment where it was like, this is a call of professional moment. The tree is like leaning over the house a little bit, and it's halfway cut down. And my dad's like, I'll get my truck, it'll be fine. We'll get a tow rope. And he goes, and they just yanked this tree, and it just like took out the whole corner of this house's roof.
Oh my gosh.
And he said that Ron's wife gets home and she's like, Tim, what are you doing? Ron's drunk. My dad's like, I'm sorry, Barbara. You need anything else?
That's the best. That's the best.
Yeah.
Your dad is like a sitcom dad. Like the stuff he pulls off doesn't seem like it should be real, but it was his reality.
Another just I'll tell one more. Another tree story was there was a really bad storm at the house I'm at now, and a tree branch was like on the house, and it was also leaning over a telephone pole, like both sides of it were. And my dad was like, we got to get this off the house. And so he called KCPL at the time, and they're like, sir, we can't come out right now, but do not touch that tree. Please just leave it where it is. And he's like, I want to get it off my house. And they're like, don't mess with it. And he goes, okay, well, I just want to save you guys some time. There's going to be a power outage in a few minutes. Yeah.
Really
Oh
funny.
my god. Wow.
Yeah, he was a character. Yeah.
I'll attest to that.
Well, hopefully that answers Randy's question about the agents.
Yeah.
In a roundabout way.
Any more questions about agents?
Anyway.
We're at 7:42. So what? We usually go to Instagram like a quarter till. So
It
We'll
depends
give
if
it-
you're here or not, Timmy.
yeah, I
Right.
don't know. You guys are like going into like the wee hours of the morning when I'm not here. Let's give it 5 more minutes. This is a 5-minute warning. I talk about my dad all the time, but my mom reminds me of Frances McDormand more than anybody.
Oh my God.
Yeah. John, do you see that?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Just the really good parts.
Yeah. Well, the 3 billboards. That's Frances McDormand and 3 billboards is my mom, like to the T. It just has always reminded me of her. Or Fargo.
Oh,
Oh my god. That is too funny.
Has anybody been watching the live action Cowboy Bebop?
Oh, I've had a long conversation with my brother and my cousin who both got me into it. Well, my cousin got me into Cowboy Bebop, and we all shared, like we all were hesitant to ask the other person if they had watched it.
Uh-huh.
But we had the same answer though. We're very afraid to watch it because we don't want to hate it. So
I will say, like, the first
Yep,
episode.
you already said enough. It's
No,
over.
no, 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 no. I want to preface it. The first episode, they're trying to be the animated version, and I feel like they slowly figure out how to get their own legs.
Never heard of this.
Cowboy
That's
Bebop's
that's all I'll say for you. How about that?
okay. I just um
What is the premise of Cowboy Bebop?
well, Cowboy Bebop's kind of it's like a space western.
Or space noir.
Oh wow.
Space, yeah, actually, yes. Space noir. Space noir, yeah. And it was a original like was it ever a manga? Or was
I
it
don't know if
just
it was actually a manga, but it only had
No.
one season and a movie.
yeah. And one season in the movie, yeah, and I got into it. I had heard about it because of the Animatrix, because the director had for those of you who don't know or just in the audience that are too young to remember this, but the Matrix was a big deal back in the day, and they did an animated, like they did a whole thing where they animated side stories in the Matrix, all these stories that took place in the Matrix world. So just think Love, Death, and Robots, but under the umbrella of the world of Matrix. And
Mhm.
so they had all these but it was all Japanese anime directors, like super famous ones, you know. And one of them was the guy from Cowboy Bebop. And I was like, what is this Cowboy Bebop thing? This looks incredible. And then so I picked up the movie, and that's how I first got into it. Thinking like, oh sweet, I can't wait to watch the 70 season arc. And it was like one season, you know, but
Yeah.
it was incredible. Absolutely incredible. Really, really stylish, and I don't know, I just loved it.
Well, and the music, like the jazz.
Oh
is
my God. Yeah.
so
Yoko Kanno.
great.
Yeah. Yeah. So get this, Dale. So the composer was a composer by the name of Yoko Kanno, right? And you would just like unassuming Japanese woman. You would never think like you would never think big band jazz music. Like you would just never think. And she was interviewed. She was like, "Oh, I went to America and I visited America and I always wanted to go, and I just love the jazz and the big band stuff." And she like went back and scored this one season anime that took place in space with big band jazz.
Wow.
So cool.
Wow.
It's so cool.
And it's so perfect. It's like
It elevates it for sure.
And
Oh my
that's
God,
why,
yeah.
and hence the name, correct?
oh, I don't know. That's a good
Yeah,
question.
I'm not sure either. I mean, the ship is called Bebop.
Oh,
It's got
I heard. I haven't seen the show. I'm not familiar with it, but I just assumed Bebop, like, is a jazz thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's gotta
Could it
be.
Yeah.
possibly be a double entendre.
Probably.
Yeah.
Very like
No. Okay.
smart observation there.
We're at 5 minutes, which means John's going to slowly move from his easel to his computer. And during that time, please post your work using hashtag illustration isolation and at visual arts passage. This is a pencil down moment. So stop drawing.
Well, this is, now you've described it. I got to move slowly. This is the.
Post your
Take your time, John.
Post
Take your
your work.
time. Don't rush yourself.
Take your time.
Enjoy the moments.
Please post your work. We're going to be looking at Instagram and like looking at John probably in like 10 or 15 minutes.
Now, before you do that, John, before you do that, go look up Cowboy Bebop. Just watch
Okay.
one episode. We'll wait.
I
We'll
think
wait.
that's going to be John's new jam there.
Yeah.
We're all going to watch Cowboy Bebop on John's computer. John's going to pull up Netflix and give everybody his password.
I would, but I don't know it.
Just, yeah, it's written down somewhere.
Yeah.
Just don't share it with anybody.
It's Netflix 123.
Well,
Probably.
if you look closely, there's a sticky note right above
Netflix
his
John.
Netflix John.
Netflix John.
Netflix, illustrators rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, so definitely post your work now, though. All joking aside.
Right meow.
Right. But Cassandra, that was a way of telling you that I haven't watched it yet. But
I was catching that vibe there.
Should I? Okay, so let me ask. This is your perfect person to ask this. Should I rewatch the anime before watching the Netflix?
In my
Series.
opinion, you should watch the Netflix, then rewatch.
Okay, that's it. It's done. I'm not even gonna.
Doing it,
think
you should
a
watch
second
what?
thing.
And then
Ray, I thought you were so busy you have trouble joining us for these sometimes.
I don't know when I'm gonna watch it, Timmy. This might be a 2023 to-do
Well,
list.
you know what? I feel that Ray judged me about the Dune thing, so I'm allowed to kind of quietly judge you about having not watched this yet.
No, wait.
awesome.
Ray's got enough time to watch Dune. He's gonna watch Cowboy Bebop. You're gonna rewatch Lost. And then,
Yeah,
and then I'm gonna text Ray and be like, "Hey, can you draw this tonight?" You'd be like, "Nah, man, I'm super busy."
Just started rewatching The Wire.
I will have to apologize. I was a maniac when the Dune episode of Illustration Isolation aired, so I do apologize for it.
No, I'm totally
Oh,
joking.
don't apologize.
I just feel
No,
like
I was a total Dune bro. I was a total Dune bro. about
Dune
it,
bro.
A Dune, bro.
Bill and I were like just going. It was mostly me. I'm not even gonna Bill was
It
like,
was,
yeah, I
you know
watched
what?
it.
It was.
It was like, yeah, I've read it. I was like, right, Bill, we're so much better than everyone, right? Right?
Well, that goes without saying. I mean, that's
Yeah.
Well, now you became a better person because I mocked you for it, and then you're like,
You
no, I
did.
need to apologize.
I know.
So then
And
you just
then,
like went up to me on that.
Well, yet again.
Crazy.
Bill, do you have anything you want to apologize about?
Is there anything I need to apologize about? I don't know.
Depends how slow John is walking to his computer.
Your Dune behavior.
I hope not. I mean,
Oh,
yeah, of course.
How
Ray.
much time we have?
Yeah.
Ray, I finally watched the Jarrowski Dune documentary.
Oh, what'd you think?
Dude, that guy's crazy.
What is it?
The Jodorowsky's Dune.
Yeah.
It's,
I mean,
yeah.
he's like, humanity will be better because of this movie. Like, this will be the best movie ever made.
It gives. I would put that up against Hearts of Darkness any day.
Really?
Any day of the week, any
Oh,
minute.
wow. Because that was something, man.
There was something that was wild.
It's
Does
wild.
Does it
Just like
result
the
in a great
level
movie?
of things, and just even the way he sees things. I mean,
That's
it
good,
was
Timmy.
like,
Well, Cassandra, have you seen any of Jodorowsky's movies?
I'm not sure, honestly.
Santa Sangre or El Topo?
No, like all of those looked insane, like very Dada-esque.
Yeah, I mean, in Santa Sangre, there's a woman without arms, and the son comes up
I'm in.
behind her
I'm
and
in.
puts his hand where her arms would be, and then he plays the piano, and so it's like they become one person. And it's the most bizarre thing.
I mean, they were showing clips of his movies, and I just thought, I don't know that I could necessarily make it through.
Oh my god.
They're good. I mean, El Topo is a great movie, but it's bizarre.
That feels like an understatement.
Yeah, they're very bizarre. But like his comics with, he worked with Mobius and
Oh
that's-
yeah, I mean, I wanted a copy. I want to own a copy of the book that's never been like copied. Like there's been so many discussions of publishing it, but they haven't.
But there are some things that he did with Mobius that were published.
Yeah, but I want to see what they did for Dune.
Oh yeah.
I did it again, guys. Sorry.
Gosh, dang it,
I
Ray.
know.
Reloading for the last time. Are we ready?
Oh,
Ready.
yeah, let me.
John, you always have an even 100.
I know.
What is that about?
I was
likes
just
round
wondering
numbers.
the same thing.
Well, I don't even know what those numbers mean. So
I mean, those are your likes, your comments.
It makes everybody. It's like great FOMO for everybody else. They're all like, John got 100 likes.
Because
And
he never
100
texts us.
followers?
Great stuff here, man.
Wow.
look at this.
Wow.
Oh
Yeah.
wow. Oh, that's
Whoa.
good.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Wow.
I gotta remove this here. Hold on.
The Inkle, that's the one I was trying to think of.
Yeah, the director of oh my God, Tahiki Wada is
Julian,
directing the movie.
Julian,
Wow,
that's
Julian.
fantastic.
That's awesome.
Beautiful.
Wow.
there's great stuff in here.
Look at that one.
Oh, man.
Dang.
Go
Wow.
away, Julian, go away.
Julian's hot.
Man, 3 in a
Whoa.
row.
3 in a row. Wow.
Yeah.
That's the record.
I like this one.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, nice,
That's
Jeff.
really fun.
That's cool.
That's 1 year of
Oh.
Jeff.
You have that whole
Ooh,
row.
that's beautiful.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Nice.
Oh.
Good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Tell me where you want me to go here.
Well, that was, yeah, all of that is good.
Very fun. That's got to be Devin. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Look at this.
Yeah. That's
Chuck.
great. Oh, Chuck, that's awesome, man.
Chuck,
Wow.
that's beautiful.
Joe.
Nice.
That's great.
Nice, Leslie.
That's cool.
I mean, they're all good. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
I want to click on all of them. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
but
that's
I
great.
bounce around.
No,
This
it's
is really
amazing.
fun. Look at
Yeah,
that.
you have to
Yeah.
rush through them because Ray's busy. So
Ooh,
Oh,
Oh,
that
click
was
on
right.
that one. Click on that one.
He's got to go watch
It's got a
Cowboy
date with
Charger.
Netflix.
Oh, that's cool.
Nice,
Andy,
Randy.
That is
that is
really
so
cool.
cool. I knew it was yours.
that's amazing. I love that.
Oh, this is a nice one.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
wow.
really nice, Marcy.
Really good. Look
Look
at
at
that.
that one.
All right. Figured it had
Jeez,
to be that guy.
Wow.
Way to go, Peter.
Yeah. Nice. Is that dry erase? Or is that
No.
marker and paper? Either way, good job.
Don't know.
Oh, I love that one.
Yeah.
Ooh, beautiful.
Really cool.
That's fun too.
Wow,
Excellent.
Yeah.
that's great.
That looks
Freaking
so Wes
artist.
Anderson too.
Freaking artist.
I mean, you could, hey, you guys
Oh, ballpoint.
imagine
Okay.
that in a magazine.
Absolutely.
That would work so well.
Yeah.
Well,
Great
that looks
name.
like a
Spot on.
Felicity Celeste.
Okay.
New Yorker movie review.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Nice, Felicity.
And there we go.
Wow.
I
Felicity.
got schooled again.
Felicity's
Now I was going to make a joke about, pulling up and say, "Hey, Ray, nice work," but too good. I think it's not even a joke. It's not even
Not
funny.
even- not even-
It's like-
You would
it's-
never be that good. You would never
Yeah.
do that.
It's the work. You can't joke about it. It's way too good.
Freaking artist.
freaking artist. That's awesome.
That's so good.
That's great.
Thanks, Jeff. Jeff,
Seriously.
he wrote something really nice at the beginning of the session just about how he's been doing this for a year and like how exciting it is for what he's developed. And
Yeah.
we can see it, man. It looks great.
Oh yeah.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Nice, Peter.
Yeah.
Dang.
Wow. Everyone's getting so good.
I know. Oh, great light on that.
Wow.
Ooh, that's
Really well done.
I don't know,
Oh,
Ray. I'm
that's
getting
great.
worse. I don't know what's going on.
I'm 100% getting worse. John, you're getting
The hair Randy is
know.
amazing
Why
on
is
that. Oh, that looks cool too. Oh, that
Look at
whole
this
row is
row.
amazing.
That's great.
This is
Wow.
That whole row's
Yep.
awesome.
Yeah, the
Like I
whole
love
gotta
row
be
is
AJ.
That's
phenomenal.
AJ,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Really
That's very
good.
cool, AJ.
Really good.
All right.
Who
You should
does
just
that
break out.
remind you of?
Oh,
I'm going to ask this to Ray because he's a historian in this stuff. Who does that feel like? The work feel like? I'll give you like. Imagine this being like a bluegrass album.
well, it reminds me of like Bernie,
Thomas
or he
B.
bop,
Allen. Tom
Oh,
Allen.
yeah.
Tom who?
Thomas B. Allen.
Tom Allen, yeah,
Oh, Tom Allen. Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
totally. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I gotta look. Oh man, I have them upstairs in Innovators of American Illustration.
Oh, that one's cool.
Oh,
That's
that's
another
very
great
cool.
I
one.
really like how you handled that.
Oh,
Good,
come on.
These are all good.
I mean, yeah, they're all fantastic.
I love it.
That's, I want to see that one, the one above, the one on
Yeah.
the end there, yeah.
Oh,
Very
cool.
nice.
Ooh.
That is
Hey,
so
Halloran.
cool. Oh, Helen,
Nice,
hey,
Halloran. There
nice.
you go, Hallie. She, Hallie's the one that asked me the question.
Yeah, he's the one who asked it in the chat too.
Yeah. And I'm going, she,
Sorry.
Hallie, I'll respond in length, in depth. Very nice.
Oh, cool. So a lot of new artists every week. It's awesome.
Look at
Look
that.
at, look at that one.
Oh, man, Peter.
All
I
right.
love that you kind of made him ugly.
I love that. It's like the whole thing is keyed off the hair.
Huh?
Oh,
Wow.
nice, nice.
I like that.
Very nice, Nicole. That's got to be Chuck. All right.
Really nice, Chuck.
John, just ban the whole, just block all of these people.
Yeah.
They're making us look bad.
Whoa,
I'm sending them all to Live Brush.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice, Rebecca.
it's gonna be a live brush insurrection. What's that over in the end there?
One on the right is really nice.
Yeah, 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 I love that.
Yeah.
Really nice.
That's great.
I think John froze.
Oh, do we lose it, John?
Oh, I was like, wow, he's so still. Well,
He's probably faking it.
he had some internet issues earlier today too. Well, we'll see if he comes back, but
John looks like
wow,
he's bogey.
he's so great.
There he is.
There he is. He's gone.
There's
Anyway,
John. Well,
let's-
that's how to do it.
let's not worry about. Let's not let that ruin tonight. All right. His internet went out today for Studio Bridge too. There's something going on in Kansas City. I'm gonna take on John's role. I'm gonna say thank you all so much for joining us tonight. Cassandra, Dale, Ray, Bill, John.
Wherever you are.
Thank you. Thank you all so much for drawing with us. And oh, I forgot to mention this. It's that time of the year. We're doing free portfolio reviews again. So go to the website after you log off here and sign up for a free portfolio review. Take advantage of it. You get to meet with John. He'll be back online when he meets with you, and he'll talk about your work.
He won't bail on you like he did tonight.
No, he won't bail. He's much nicer. He usually says goodbye. But
I'm never doing this again.
yeah. He apparently Dale, you're a bad influence.
That's awesome.
Everybody, that was fun. Have a good night.